Where's it gone? Oh, there, sorry. There we go. Sorry about that. Hi, I'm Sue Boo, bringing crafting to you. And today I'm going to show you how I made this. I'm calling it Lapover card. It will sit in a normal C6 envelope, and then it opens out, and it's pretty on the back as well as the front. So without further ado, let's get on and make it. Right, so you will need one piece of A4. Now A4 is 8¼ by 11¾ and you'll need a whole piece of it. And what we're going to do is put it in on the 8¼ side, and you're going to put it in at 2½, and we're going to cut that off. Okay, so put that in 2½, make sure you've got it absolutely straight, and then we're going to cut that off. I'm working with Blackberry Bliss this time. The card that I showed you was Calypso Coral. So we need this piece, so just put that on one side for the moment while we do the scoring. Okay, so turn it on to the 11¾ side, and you are going to score at 1¼ so put it in and score at 1¼ sure it's there, 1¼ and then move it to 2¾ so 2¾ and score, and then 3¾ 3¾ and score. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to rotate that completely round and do exactly the same. So we're going to score it at 1¼ so that's 1¼ and 2¾ so 2¾ and then 3¾ Now, because I am working with one of our 8¼ by 11¾ size card, it is actually 210 millimeters by 290 something centimeters. So it's not perfect at 11¾ so if you are American and you are doing this card and you have got a piece of 8¼ by 11¾ you'll have the perfect measurements. However, because ours is not absolutely, what I do is that should be leaving you with 5 7/8, whereas you can see if you look at my card, I've got 2½ off, but it's not left me quite with I'm a 1/16 of an inch away. You can see that. So that is why if you're working with the American, or you are going to get a piece of 12 by 12 and you're going to cut it down, then again it will work for you. If you do 11¾ by 8¼ you will be left with your 5 7/8, which will make this a whole lot easier. However, our card I'm working, so what I'm going to do is I need to cut 2 pieces from the card that I cut the 2½ strip. So I put it in again, my trimmer, and I'm going to cut it exactly to my card width size. So it's going to be that 1/16 of an inch under. So I'm just going to cut that and then bring it in again at the 1/16 of an inch under and cut it again. Okay, and you will just be left from 1, A4 size, you'll just be left with this little tiny strip. That's all you're wasting from your card, so you can just bin that. Okay, so we've got those two, so put those two on one side 1 minute, and then we're just going to do our folds now. So let me just get my card. Now you're going to take the third score line from the end and you're going to fold it in, and you want to make sure that it is absolutely square, so the edges are square there, and then fold that down. So then I'm going to take it back on itself and make sure that those are completely straight, and then we're going to bring this forward so it will be like that. Okay, I think that's right. Let's just make it, no, that goes back, sorry, that one goes back the other way, sorry, goes back there, but it won't matter that you've done it both ways if you followed me, because that will help it to hinge properly. So we're going to repeat the same on the other side. So we're taking the third score line, bringing the two up, making sure that they are lining up nicely. We're then going to bring the next one back and fold that, and then open it out so that you can bring this one back on itself. Okay, like that. So if you can see there, that one come in, those went out, and the last one folded back on itself like that. Okay, so we're going to bring in our glue now, and we're going to glue this inside here. So I'm going to have to wait for my glue to come down to the bottom. Now try not to go too close to the edge up there, oops, and not too close to the edge down there, which I have done. So I want to get plenty of glue on the middle. So I want it to stick down well. Okay, so we're going to stick that down now. So I'm just going to go over, and I go over with my bone folder. That will help spread the glue and help it to stick down as well. So we're going to do that like that. Okay. Okay, and then we'll do that the same on the other side. So open it out. I'm going to not stick it too close to this fold, not stick too close to the top, and not stick too close to the fold. This one is all right, the middle one is all right to stick it close to, not this side, because the glue, when it spreads, it can ooze out that little bit. So I don't want to take it too close to the top and too close to the edge. Apart from this internal edge, you can do. Okay. So again, I'm going to put that down. We're going to go over that there like that. Okay. Right, now we can open it up. In fact, I think, no, it does go out of the way, doesn't it? Right, now you're going to bring back in your 2.5 wide by the length of your card. So I'm going to see that that is okay. And you're going to put glue completely on this part. So I'm going to put some glue going all the way down here. Okay, and I'll just move that out of the way. I'm just going to fold that down, and then I want to make sure that this is in the middle. So let's see, if we put that like that, I can, no, it's over there, isn't it? So I've got to judge. So I'm going to look on the back, and I'm going to see if I can eyeball it to get it so that this here and this bit here are more or less the same. If you want it to be absolutely exact, you could measure it with a ruler. So I will pull my ruler out now and see what they are. So that's just over 1/2 inch, and let's take the internal bit, move that out of the way. Oopsie daisy. Do that, bend the card the other way, and that's more. So I'm just gonna see if, well, actually that, let's have a look again. I'm gonna move it back. That more or less works out right for DSP, and now that's so yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, so one side it's actually gone over by 1/16 of an inch over my half, and then when you look the other way it's a little bit more. So just eyeball it, it will work out fine. It doesn't spoil the look of the card, because I'll show you again, you can either fold it that way or that way hides, so you've got this nice look here, and it doesn't spoil it if it's not absolutely central, because I didn't measure the other one central. Just eyeball it central is absolutely fine, otherwise you've got to work those 1/16 of an inch out even more, and going into 32ths. So we're not going to be that crazy, we're just going to let our eyeballs do it. Right, let's make sure you've got that, and then again we're going to eyeball this. So I'm going to flatten it down. So if you flatten it down, flatten this down, and then just eyeball that on top. And I can now use that one that's the fold there. I'm just using that now. In fact, could we have done that? Yeah, actually it makes it not quite central, so don't use that. So I'm going to pull it away a little bit. Let's see, I've managed to pull it away a little bit. So I'm going to get my ruler out and look, that's just over half, just over half. So I think that is there, that's okay, that will be fine, that will work out. So my card pulls back like that. You can go in again with your bone folder and crease down these centre bits, and crease down, oops, don't have your ruler underneath, crease down those centre bits so it holds there, and then that will go in there like that. So you can have it that way or you can have it that way, and as long as it's all lining up top and bottom and you've got an even gap just there, that works out perfect. Okay, now I didn't measure my DSP because you really need to do that first, because not these bits, but this bit here and these side bits, it depends on when it's glued together. So I put the card together and then I start with my DSP. Now I want there to be a contrasting colour and a lighter colour on the front. So this paper is Lifetime of Love, I think it's called, and this is the back of the Moody Mauve, and I'm just going to cut this width, so I'm going to leave 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to measure my card, and it's just coming up as 16th over the actual 3/4. So if you go to where this card measures, you can do it like this if you want. Get your card in your track there and see whereabouts it comes, and then put your finger on that. So that's where it comes. So this is the length of my card now, it measures. So I've put it in my track there, but I want to come 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to count 1, 2, and now I've got my DSP 1/8 of an inch shorter. So just make sure that I've got that in place. And then I'm going to cut this whole 12-inch strip, move that out of my way. This is now the exact length that's right, let me show you, for this card. So I'm going to have that nice 16th of an inch at either side because I've done that. So I want to do 1/8 of an inch smaller. So this measured 2.5. So we put it in at 2.5, take it back 1/8, and we're good to go. So I have got one piece for this side. I need one piece. So this is 2 3/8 if you want in the precise measurements from me, 2 3/8, and that will be for that side. Now I'm going to glue on as we go in so that we can not get lost with all our paper. So if we just glue this on first and put this out of the way. I've done this, I've got so much DSP that I'm making this very DSP heavy. So you don't have to put as much DSP on as what I'm doing if you don't want to. You need to do these bits, of course, but the later ones you won't need to do. I'll show you where you can and can't do it. But if it just finishes it off really nicely if you put the DSP in all the places I've put it, I just feel. But you don't say that bit there or that bit there, you don't need to put it. You can have just the contrast of the card, but I, as I say, want to use my DSP, and I think it makes it look really pretty, so I'm going with that. Okay, so that's it. And it looks really nice with the blackberry bliss, really pretty. I like that, very nice. Okay, so this little bit now in here, I am measuring that, and that is coming, it's just slightly over the 16th. No, it works out. No, it works out at the 16th. So I want to take it back too. So I want it a 16th over half. So I'm going to go half and then 1/16 over. Just let me measure that again. Just make sure. Yes, that's correct. 1/16 over. And we don't need to worry about the length because the length's already the right size. So we're just cutting the strips now. That's why it's so easy. And we're going to put this on the back here. So let's just get that there. So it's better to measure the card as you're going along, unless you've managed to get it exactly the same on either side. So again, we're going to get that nice little increment all the way around, and then we want one for that side. So again, I'm going to measure this just in case we didn't put these on accurate. So think that more or less is all right. So yeah, one again after the half. So we've got a 1/2 inch, and then we're going to have 1/16 after. So that's just that little mark after. Okay. So I'm going to put that, and that is going to go on this little bit here. So I'm going to get this here. That's going to go on the back there. I've done that in the right place, have I? Oh, I haven't. I've put that in the wrong place. I thought that didn't quite seem right. There. So it's the back side. So if you fold it out like that, it gives it you there. So that should be a nice little increment all the way around. Okay. And I then did the backs in this card. So we'll start off with these. In fact, no, I won't. I will then put that on one side, and I will come to the DSP that's doing all the work for me. So I want to start off, because if I fold the card this way, I want the panels to actually, let's undo my card. Come on, there we go. I want to show you, flip it back like this. It actually runs, the pattern runs. So I want to keep my pattern like this. So I'm going to do each of these now. So again, we want to make sure we've got the right size width. So I'm going to put this in and remember where it was. That was there. So I'm going to just put my thumb there and then just cut this DSP. So that's 1/16 under 5 3/4, and just move that out of the way. Okay, so this is going to be the right size now for all of my cards. And I'm going to start off, if I bend these back, I'm going to start off with this one, which is 1 1/2 exactly. So we're going to take that to 1 3/8. So we're going to take that to 1 3/8, and I'm going to cut that, and that will fit on there. Then we need to measure this side here, which, let's move that out of the way, move those back, is, let's see, that just slightly goes into the 16ths, doesn't it? So that, let's get it right, 2 3/16. So I want to go 2 1/16 for the middle. So that is just one little mark past the 2. So you're going to put it in at the 2-inch mark, and then that next little mark over, you're going to move it to. So that's your 16th. And so that will be your centerpiece. And then you will need the other side, which should be the same size, shouldn't it, as the other one? Yes, it is. And that was 1 1/2, so that was 1 3/8. So 1 3/8. Okay. And that is the last one. So I'm just going to make sure I've got them now in the right places, that it's following on. So that was the first piece I cut, and there you can see the patterns coming along. That was the last piece I cut, and there the pattern runs along. So just going to do those now. So we'll put those on. Let's get this. Come in. Come on. The glue's coming down. So we're running the glue down. So that So I'm going to tip it on its side, that will help. So bend that card back, move that out of the way, and we'll have a nice little increment all the way round. That's it, that's nice. And then one for the middle. It's not too bad now because I left my glue on the side. Leave it on its side again, flatten it down, put this in the center. So this makes it easy to work with if you put the card like this, turning it, flattening it round like I've done. Okay, so make sure that is right, and then the last one to put on for this side, and then we'll go. Let's keep it on its side, flatten it down again. I'm going to put that in the middle, in those equal increments all the way around. There we go. So that's looking lovely so far. We're going to turn it over now. Okay, I seem to have got some glue on the back, and we're going to turn my card over, and then we will measure out. Did I do that? Yeah, so I'll do that first. So I'm going to do this middle one first. I think that's the easiest one. So we'll measure that, and again that measures 1.5 really, so we're going to take that to 3/8, 1 3/8. So we'll do 1 3/8, and I'll just make sure that that fits first. Just make sure I've got that right. Yeah, that's 1 3/8, and that's going to go there. So we'll put one on at a time, and then we won't get mixed up. So I'm going to fold the card out that way, and it's the middle panel. There we go. So that's going to be the middle panel there. So okay, make sure that that's there, and we'll do, set that out, we'll do that middle panel, and that should be exactly the same again. Yeah, so we're going to do that 1 3/8 again. And 1 3/8. And that goes in the middle just there. Okay, make sure you've got that equal. Okay, there. Right, going back to my card, I'm just having a look at my card now. So now I have got 2 pieces to put on. So these 2 pieces here, and that measures just over 1 3/4. So we want to take it under to 1/8 under 3/4. So 1 3/4, and I'm just going to measure. Let's see, 1 3/4. So 1 3/4. So that's 1 3/4. Yeah, so it should do it. This last piece should just do it, because we don't want it 1 3/4. We want it, no, we do want it 1 3/4, do we? Just 1 under 1 3/4. That's right. So we'll put it at 1 3/4, take it back one little mark. Okay, so let's have a look. Yeah, that's just over. Okay, so I've got enough left, and we're going to put that on here. Okay, keep it on its side so that it's going to go on the back there to 1 3/4. Just give it equal increment all the way round. And again, oh, I forgot to cut that first, so let's just get that off. So it's under 1 3/4. So put it on at 1 3/4, take it back that one little mark. So you're cutting off just a little tiny bit. So make sure got that right, and then that's all that you are wasting from that long panel that I've just cut, that tiny weeny bit to bin. So that's good use of your DSP. Okay, so again, now go back over that. Okay, so that goes on the other side. So let's bring that panel out, and it's going to fit there. Now, when I originally did this, I cut something wrong and I didn't get the measurements right, and I ended up with my DSP not being the right size. So I actually like what I did, so I'm going to do this. I actually cut a thin sliver, so it was just 1/4 inch, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut 1/4 inch. So this, remember, is the length that we've already done. I'm going to cut 2 that are 1/4 inch wide. That's all. Okay, just take those. There we go. And I'm going to place these. Oops, pick up your fingers. I'm going to place these so it gives it added interest on the back when you're looking at the back. Come on, come on. There we go. Make sure you've got your DSP. If it's directional, I'm going to put that 1/4 inch just on that last part. That just gives it that added interest. So I'm going to do the same at the other side. So bring that at the other side. So it's I'll turn it on its side, making sure, yeah, got that the right way. Yeah, got that the right way. So it's just that bit there. I'm just putting it that bit there because it just gives it that bit added interest back there. Put it right on your DSP. There we go. So when you're looking at the back of the card, you've got those bits sticking out. Now, this last little bit, I want, when it stands up like that, I want this to be the same DSP as this. So I'm just bringing that open, and this measures 1 inch, so I just want 7/8 of an inch. So I'm just going to cut this at 7/8 of an inch in there, and I'll need one more, so that's 7/8 of an inch. There we go. So all I've got left is this, which I can do something with that on another card later on, or I can do something similar to what I've done because I've got more of that DSP left anyway. So I'm just going to put this, so make sure I've got my card the right way. Yeah, so pop that down there, giving that nice equal increment. Okay, Now I've done this card in a, as I say, I've done it in another colour base, but I've also done this with the Moody Mauve, and I did use this with the Moody Mauve as well. That worked quite nicely. So this, all you need is a contrasting plain colour and then a highly decorated foil for a really beautiful card to do this. Now, there is so many different potentials of flowers with this, and I'm just going to show you now. Now, we do need to cut one more piece, and we need a piece of let's see what I've done that I've done it. I have to bring this in. Okay, so I'm going to do a card, and this is very vanilla. I'm going to do it 3 5/8 wide, so I'm going to do 3 5/8, 3 5/8 wide. Get that right, 3 5/8 wide. Move that out of the way, and then the depth of it, I'm going to do 5 3/8. I'm going to do 5 3/8. Okay, so we'll do something with that in a little minute. So that will be for the back here with an equal increment all the way around like that. So save that on one side. Let me move my trimmer a little bit. Now I want to show you the DSP a little closer. Can you see that it's got all these daisies here? Now the Moody Mauve, I haven't got much of it left, but you can see on this Moody Mauve I did this as this part here, and in fact, why am I doing that when I can get the DSP? I haven't got any more Moody Mauve. Now where did I put this out? Just bear with me. I've got it out here, sorry. Right, that same DSP is in the pack in the, is it that one? There's two, so just bear with me. No, it is that one there. Right, so let me just pull out this. Okay, so this is the Moody Mauve, and it's the same pattern in the Pretty Peacock. So I did use this for this part of the card there. So as you can see, these have got quite a few kind of roses ish. Well, there's roses and these kind of things. So all you've got to do is look in your stash for a similar type of flower. Now this one, and this is the reason why I have done this one, because excuse me, this is the Cheerful Daisy and it works perfect, as you can see, perfect with this. But this one I used the Forever and Always, and this looks beautiful on it. I did slightly different. I think I have not uploaded the photograph at the moment of the other one, but I will do in time. So I put that there, and then I just cut out in gold. I've got a sprig that's from the Everything Is Rosy, and I just did the sprig going up there for that one, and that looked really lovely. This one I have done you the Cheerful Daisy, worked out perfect, and the sprigs I've taken off, these were actually for frame florets, and these are from the Everything is Rosy. But there are so many different flowers that you can use. There's so many different leaf sprigs that you can use. So in fact, I did think about the cheerful daisy. What I could have done was I could have used this and the daisy and the leaves. Now what I would have done is I would have done this. I don't know whether we've got 2 or 1. Oh, it is, yes. So what I would have done is I would have done this in the gold embossing and cut it out with my die. Done the daisy as I've done with the emboss and cut it out with the die. And I would have done these in the gold, emboss those in gold and put those on. So that is something instead that you could have done there and done there. You could have actually, where this little indentation is here, you could have cut that little bit off and took a side branch out and done the half daisy on that. So that would have been something that would have fitted in there. I might do one. I won't obviously do a video on it because I've done the card video, but I might post on my Facebook page one how I've told you using this DSP, because it will work with this particular one. Now as I say, depending on your DSP, there is something else in here that will work. So as I say, as long as you've got the contrasting colour going off, and there is your petal pinks to use, you can use those. There is this one in the set, not that one, this one. Now this has got roses in and these. Now you could in fact even cut out these and put those on there as well. So there is limitless flowers that you could use with this paper to do this very thing. So I'll just put these out of the way for the moment and make sure I put my die back in. So let's put that back in. You could use that sprig as well to go out from the daisies. So as I say, endless possibilities with it. Okay, so I'm bringing back in mine, and let's move those out of the way. And I have done ahead of time all my die cuts that I need, so I'm going to bring those in. So there, just don't know, I'll just bring all them in, but I just wanted to show you other versions. You could just decorate. This again was from the frame florets, but you could do something like that on either side instead. You could actually put your happy birthdays and things on there, or your sentiments if you want. I was thinking, if I'm not particularly using this one, this is from the welcome window, and I was thinking of doing the vase. You could do that, or not, the jug, should I say, the jug, and putting that over the top. So that's something else. It's just limitless, the possibilities that you can stick, as long as this is plain and you are doing these fairly plain. Oh, you could colour them. I mean, that works, doesn't it? That works for it being coloured. So there's so many possibilities. Lots of sprigs. You could use the leaves of the layering leaves. So I better keep that handy just in case I've not got everything out. Right, now what I did with these, I'll just put my card up there to look at, is I started off with my daisy and I'm just curling it with my bone folder so that it's not flat. Okay, so got the daisy curled. I'm also doing the same with the leaves, so bringing the leaves in, and also with these leaves here, I curled those in as well, so it just made it not flat. So we'll just go and do all those. So again, I'm just going to bring that in and then do these. So what I've done is I've done 4 of these leaves that I'm rounding now, so there needs to be 4 of those. There is also 4 of those other leaves, but you could, they are bigger leaves, but you could use the artistically inked. That would be another one. The rose, that's what I was wanting to know what would look like. The rose from the artistically inked, on that paper that I showed you with the roses on, you could use artistically inked rose. So I'm going to see what that looks like. So I might do more of these in that theme. So we'll see. And as I say, I will post, if I do them, I will post them on my Facebook page for you to look at, because I quite like this design card. So it'll go that way or go that way, so the choice is yours to how you do it. Right, so what I'm going to do is get some dimensionals. So let's get our dimensionals. So I'll leave those the moment because I want a whole dimensional for the middle of my daisy. So let's get them out. So let's get this. So I'm just going to put this in the middle of my daisy and then put this. So again, you can flatten it to work on it. So I'm putting it top and bottom, right and left, so trying to get it roughly in the middle. Then I just put something at the bottom, so this is where I start to cut into these. So cut something like that, and so I've just got that right at the bottom, and then I'm just going to tuck this at a bit of an angle. So that's just going to go slightly at an angle, but before I go down, I'm going to make sure that this will fit out there. Yeah, I think just come over slightly. So just try that. Again, I want to put this in the middle again. So I'm only putting them in the middles and then tucking that off to one side. There we go. And then I'm going to just tuck this underneath the bottom. So that's nice. That's I've already cut that bit. So let's move that. And we will go under here, and I'm going to do it slightly over there. Before I commit to it, I'm just going to see what sort of an angle I want, possibly there, and then we'll stick something in the middle of that, and then coming off there, I want to make sure it's going there, so it's going in a this kind of shape. And then you can bring this over like that, so you can get it closer to see whereabouts you position the other one. So that there. So now I just need to put that in the middle. Now it's not going to matter if it's just slightly out, not going to matter at all. So, and then we'll leave that. Cut that to go on the bottom. So I'm trying to keep these to the bottom, so that, again, looking where I've placed that roughly about there, but I'm also going to take that into consideration, lift that up a little bit, give us about that kind of angle, and stick something on the back of there. So that's on the back there, and that can go off to that angle there roughly. Straighten it slightly. Okay, and then bring this one in. Got one cut already, so that's going to go there, and that's going to bring to this way. Roughly-ish. I've not embedded that one yet, just in case I want to move it. So I'm going to get that bit there, take that out and bring that around. That looks okay. So there. Okay, so that's there. Right, now for this bit. So if you note, I've got a very small oval. I've used the oval punch. So what you want to do is decide on your sentiment, and I want to use sending happy thoughts. I want to use. So is that one it? For a very happy birthday? No, that's not it. Oh, have I not used this one yet? No, good. I don't think I have forever. Might have done. Right, so get our block, and we're going to emboss this, so it's going to be a bit noisy. Let's have a look. Yeah, perfect. I've just got a bit of scrap. That was the bit we cut from that. Just in case I haven't, this is my tip: rub on the back of your hand if they're brand new. Just fetch that coating off. I'm going to use my Versamark because we're going to emboss this in gold. So just getting that with my Versamark, and to put this roughly in the middle. Okay, there we go. And oh, I should have used my embossing body. I always forget it. It's in my tray and I still forget it. Okay, so bringing in my tray, let me just get rid of that, and use my tweezers. I'm going to pour on my embossing powder. Oh, then I did quite a lot, didn't I? Right. Wish I'd used my embossing buddy. Right, so that's not bad. I'm going to go over it again though. Sometimes this will fetch those extra loose bits off. Right, that's not too bad. I'll go for that. I'm going to move that out of the way. Now this is going to be noisy because I'm going to bring in my, well, I'll have to do it over here because it won't stretch any further. So just, I'm going to move my Versamark because I don't want to be drying that out. My thoughts are I'm trying to emboss as much as possible, lots of things, so that's something else I'm targeting myself to do. Now I've got to be careful of this because on one of my previous videos I thought I'd done all my embossing. I'm just going to go over that again because I'm not sure on this end. Thought I'd caught it all, and then when it come to it, smudged off because I hadn't caught it all. So let's have a look. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, that's lovely. Right, so bring in my punch, and this is what I did. So I want to use obviously the lower punch when I can get it in, and that actually will fit in it, but to show you I'm going to take it smaller. So I just took it to where I could get away with it being the closest up here and the closest there. So I'm going to cut that. Let's move that out of the way. I will need a piece of post-it note, and so I'll stick this on the back. Actually, I'll do it on the back and fold that over out of the way, and then put this, and if it will for me and behave, and go all the way down. It will let me without messing me up. Oh, that's coming up. Just see if I can get it in. Come. Right. So then what I want to do is take this down now. Down as far as I can and as even as I can. I think that's about right, but I want to make sure there. I think that might be, let's see, yeah, that might be all right. Okay, and then we've got this now oval. That's not cut as well because let me get my scissors. I'm messing about with the tapes and it's not cut as crisp as what I wanted it, so just gonna go round. Okay, and did I? Yeah, and I did stick that up. So that then will just fit nicely in the gap there, and we want a dimensional on the back of this, so just going to stick a dimensional in the middle on there and just roughly have it in the middle, top and bottom, and happy thoughts. Okay, right, so now we can look whether it will close. You can see that little bit. If that doesn't bother you, then you can, if it does bother, you can put it the other way. On this card, you're going to get that showing, but if you didn't want that, just keep putting these in place and just folding it to see whether it's going to show. But I'm not really fussed. Bend it out because that's going to stand up beautifully like that, so that's how the recipient can see it. And then you have got the back piece. Now I'm just going to show you this because I did with the cheerful daisies. I did this one as a birthday card. However, this one, I'm sending happy thoughts. I'm sending this one and I'm going to write on the back. So I want to write a note. So in this case, all I'm going to do is do a faded. Let's just, don't want to get that on my card. That's it. I'm going to do a faded flower. Okay, so that's going to go in the background, a faded flower. And I think I'm going to do it all. I'm going to do this big one. Get that. So I could do the Dainty Daisy big one. This takes a lot of space. So I'm going to get a piece of white paper. Because I want to have this faded. And in fact, I'm going to start and use Lost Lagoon anyway. So let's just move that one out of the way. And I'm going to see what doing it with Lost Lagoon does. So, because I want to, this is brand new, so it's very juicy. So I'm going to see if I do one, but then I do two. Yes, I think I wanted it too. So I'm just going to make sure I've got, and I just want the outline on this. So I'm just going to do this, the outline, and I'm going to stamp it on and then bring this in. I'm just going to do it at an angle. So I'm going to bring that in and take that off. There we go. And I will be able to write there, but I've got that underneath it. So that's what I'm going to do. And then of course, let's get that out of the way. So that was with Lost Lagoon. Say I will write all on that, and then I will stick it onto the back, but I want to be able to write on a flat surface, so I'm not going to stick that on, but that's how it'll be. So you'll have that on the back, and then of course the added interest, you've got those little panels there on the back. When you're looking at the front, you can see those panels coming through at either side, so you've got it there. Now we can put some bling on. So something that I did, I got a blending pen. Is this the right one? Yeah, and we will do the have I got it out? Yes, I've got it out. I'm just going to colour some of these gems in. So we're going to take these out. So these are pearls, and I'm just going to have this. Just make sure there's none of my embossing buddy there. Just going to do that, and then pick up the my ink from off my table and use this on the pearls. So this is now making my pearls Pretty Peacock, and because I'm using a blending brush, and blenders contain alcohol, so it will be like colouring with a normal blender pen, only I don't have Pretty Peacock or anything similar. So I'm going to just colour these in. So I can now make any colour gems I want because of having a blender pen. So and do the blender pen, and if you don't feel it's dark enough, you know, keep going over it, keep picking up more and going over your gems. Can you see? Yeah, you can see. So I'm just gonna do these. I'm wanting it quite dark, so I'm continually picking up the ink to make it as dark as possible. So I'm going to make plenty because I don't know how many I want to use, so I'm going to just keep going in there. So I'm into this glass mat. Mine, let's see, is not the Stampin' Up version, but I'd love the Stampin' Up version, but I've got a cheaper version of it, but it seems to be doing well. When I say cheaper version, if you join you get it free, don't you? So it's expensive version than mine. So let's put some more on that first one. Keep going at them to make them darker. So I'll give up soon. Hopefully we've got enough. So the important thing after doing this is to make sure that your blender pen goes back to being clear so that you can use it with other inks. So I've got it quite saturated now really, but I still keep going back to picking more colour up. Right, I'm happy that I've got enough now, I think. Okay, that'll do. Right, so I'm going to start by wiping it. You can see on my glass, I'm hoping you can see that I've got quite a lot of ink on there. So, and you need to really don't get those coming off. Let me just move those out of the way. So just keep using the pen so it comes clear. Oops, see, these are not Stampin' Up, so that comes off. Okay, which actually means on these you can actually buy new nibs, but they don't flow, but they don't separate either, because I've ruined quite a few of my sort of this end with using them like that, blender pens, not using the ball tip. So if you're doing it and you're using your best Stampin' Up pens, I would say use your ball tip. It's coming now, there's not much left on it now, but it is important, and I can't leave it to dry. That's why I'm having to do it now, because if I leave it dry it will stain it more, and you've got more risk of that colour coming out when you're using something else. So that's why I'm fiddling a bit. I might buy some more tips, and then I could just take the tip off and keep it for that dark colours and things like you do with blending brushes. Yeah, that's better. I think that will be okay now, I think. Yeah, I'll risk that. Okay, oops, there. Right, so move that out of the way. Now the beauty of this is that we can just get in there and just wipe it off. I love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, and then I just kind of rub my hand over it, and I don't know whether it's the heat of my hand, but it completely dries. So, and now I'm treading on my gems, but they're all right, so that's good. Now, just make sure with my hands that I've got some of the ink off them. Otherwise, when I mess, I will be putting it onto my card. Right, okay. So that's okay. So I'm going to put this down and let's start at this side So pick one off. Yeah, one up in that top corner. And can have one about there. And then, come on, I think I'll have one about there. Oops, whoops, whoops, whoops. Whoops, whoops, oh, that's not really completely dried, so let's avoid that one. And let's try and be careful. I'm gonna try not to touch them. Don't look as though they've fully dried. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the same on the other side. So mirror it roughly, and that's going to be there. And get that one. That's about there-ish. Let's bring it over. It is about there. The flower. Oops. Don't want to touch them too much because they haven't dried fully. So there, and come on. So I'd really let these dry, so if you can. Probably about there-ish. There. And then I thought I'd have one on the sending thoughts, happy thoughts. Thought that would be nice. And there, in the middle there. Okay, so I don't want to touch them too much. Let's pop them out of the way so you can see. I haven't, I need to do some more and do some for this card as well, but you get the idea. So that one, turning it to a birthday one, and this one works out, it doesn't show, and this one, it shows a little bit, so I should have paid attention when I put this on. I needed to have pulled those that way, but it's not detrimental to me. Because you can stick it over, you've got a gem showing on that side. You stick it that way, you haven't got a gem showing. So it's whatever way you want to do it. But I thought that was rather pretty, so I hope you like it. If you do, please give me a thumbs up that you like it. I've got one or two more ideas that I'll be along with. My head's buzzing with things currently, but I just thought this is such pretty paper, and look at, you can use it in different colours, because look, with the Calypso Coral, and that is the Blackberry Bliss. Really do like, I don't know whether I like the Blackberry Bliss. I did really like the this one, the Calypso Coral, but it just shows you, I have a colour coach, so I know that Blackberry Bliss would go with this, but if I didn't have a colour coach, I don't know whether I'd have put Blackberry Bliss with it, but it does look rather nice with the Blackberry Bliss. So hope you like that. So thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, stay well, and I'll be back with more crafty goodness another day. So thank you for dropping by. Do appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to me, please subscribe so you won't miss. I come on randomly. So thank you very much. I'll say goodbye for now.